Hi, my name is Dean Stickler and I work with Golden Paintworks. Today we're going to be demonstrating a couple different ways you can work with a very interesting texture called soapstone, both tinted and untinted. Now the untinted soapstone is a smooth paste plaster that is very translucent when dry. You can use it to make some very interesting subtle stone-like effects on a wall when you put it over a surface that's colored slightly deeper than white. Okay. There are many different ways to apply a soapstone texture. Generally you want to apply it in several very thin layers, trying not to show tool marks as much as possible. I like to mention that I like to work with a medium-sized trowel, although you can use a taping knife or a putty knife also. Okay, so you want to get it from the bucket to the wall first. Okay. Okay, once I have on about 8 square feet, I can come inside here and start to manipulate it to create a movement. I like to start my stroke on the outside and bring it in and always float it off. Because every time you start on the inside and pull it like this, you're always going to be leaving these straight lines all over the place, okay? So generally I like to start out and then float it off like this. Keep your strokes short when you're finishing off. Here. Okay, once you apply, say I have about 16 square feet up here, I want to go inside and start to try to smooth it out a little bit and shorten my strokes out. The second coat is much easier because then it'll have something to actually bite into on the texture. It's a little bit loose right now, so your texture wants to just slip right over the surface. So get on this first coat and let it dry, and we'll come back and put on the second coat. Now that the first coat is dry, we can drop down to a little bit smaller tool to create a little bit more interest here, a little more detail. I used a very large tool to apply the first coat. Now we have something to bite into, so it's easier to drop down to a smaller tool. Now I'm going to use this 5-inch Japan scraper from Golden. The first time you use it, you want to make sure you take some 320 grit sandpaper or higher and get rid of the rough edges along the top. Of course, you could also use a spackle knife like this. Again, when you load this tool here, make sure it only goes into the very center of it like this. Okay, leave the edges blank. Okay, and just do a little bit at a time, each time. What this will do is this will create a tighter, little bit more uniform surface. Okay, and done. Now let this dry and come back and put down a third and final coat. Now the second coat is completely dry. I'm going to take my blade here and shave off any high points that could be left from the first finish, and then continue on with the third and final coat, again applying the product right to the center of my blade. and done.